shops are open underneath the gym bar at the causeway end, and of course also at the rear of the main stand. Hello and welcome to Widnes Stadium, Warrington, for the semi-final clash of the Burtonwood Brewery semi-final of the Lancashire Cup. The Widnes team are already on the pitch in their very unfamiliar Anfield strip, all red. We're awaiting the arrival of the Warrington team up the tunnel. It's been a rainy night, but now very dry, very clear, a little bit windy, and the gate not too bad actually for such a bad night. I would say we're going to near the 5,000 mark this evening. I've not counted though. Obviously we're under floodlights and the people still flocking into the ground. Widnes team came onto the pitch 5 minutes early, obviously to get warmed up, and we saw an unusual sight at 10 to 7. We saw a Warrington player undergoing a fitness test just before the game, and that was Paul Cullen. A run through of the teams for this evening's semi-final. The Warrington team at number 1, Steve Hesford. Number 2, Brian Carbett. At number 3, Barry Peters. Number 4, Phil Blake. At 5, Rick Thackeray. 6, Paul Cullen. 7, Andy Gregory. 8, Bob Eccles. At 9, Carl Webb. 10, Bob Jackson. 11, first appearance for wire of Les Boyd. Number 12, Tommy Gittins. 13, Alan Rathbone, and subs for wire, 14, Mark Foster, and 15, Mark Roberts. The Widnes team, as I say, already on the pitch in red. Number 1, Dave Lyon. At 2, John Basnett. 3, Trevor Stockley. 4, Ralph Linton. 5, Wilf George. 6, Tony Myler. 7, David Hume. 8, Mike O'Neill. 9, Keith Elwell. 10, David Lamb. 11, Paul Horton. 12, former Warringtonian player, Widnes born, John Fieldhouse. Number 13, John Myler, and subs for Widnes, number 14, Barry Dowd, and 15, Andy Ruane. Referee, once again, Mr. Willispool, Mr. John MacDonald, and the touch judges, Mr. W. Golding and Mr. C. Steele. How's about a welcome for Warrington's newest Australian signing, Mr. Les Boyd, number 11. Well, the Warrington team's on the field to the familiar strains of the entry of the Gladiators. Bob Eccles captaining the Warrington team tonight in the absence of regular club captain Ken Kelly. Bob Eccles choosing to play towards the railway end of the ground, hence it's Widnes to kick off. 80 minutes of fine football in store, we hope, and a place in the semi-final. I'm sorry, a place in the final. We're already in the final. We're already in the semi-final. I get this right sometimes. And that's Bob Jackson immediately into play from the kick-off. Warrington's obviously number 10. Les Boyd making his first appearance for many, many months on any rugby league field. That's a first penalty to wire. And once again a reminder that this is the semi-final of the Burtonwood Brewery Lancashire Cup. And it's Carbett at number 2 to bang that ball in touch for wire, landing on top of the Snookers club. And Warrington already bring that ball into play with Les Boyd on the crunch right away. And that's Bob Jackson, number 10 for wire. Well into the Widnes half. That's Alan Rathbone. Carl Webb, dummy half, bringing it left. Lovely pass that. This is Philip Blake. Beats one man, but brought down by the Widnes scrum half, David Hume. Wire still with it. Tommy Gittins, dummy half, number 12, brought in the first team squad. This is Hesford back into the first team with a huge up and under. And it's dropped, but a penalty is given against Paul Cullen, playing standoff today, for an offence on the Widnes fullback, David Lyon. And the kick taken by Dave Lyon. Gains ground for the Chemics. Wolf George on the left wing for Widnes. Coloured boy, I think they got from Huddersfield. Widnes with it. That's Elwell, obviously bringing Paul Horton into the play, but he's crash tackled very well indeed. Widnes the ball back to the fullback Lyon. Lyon kicks deep. Thackeray and Hesford going for the ball. Hesford's got it covered. Hesford takes behind his own line. Gains ground, head down, 10 yards. Paul Cullen acting halfback. He gives to Thackeray. Thackeray dumped to the turf. Plays the ball to number 6, Cullen. Cullen brings in Tommy Gittins. Tommy Gittins on the 25-yard line. Webb to Andy Gregory. Little chip. Takes well. Beautiful, lovely play. Lovely tackle. Good ball there to Webb, backing up brilliantly. Superb football from Andy Gregory. Good backing up from Webb. That's Blake to Gregory. Back to Blake. Blake, long pass to Tommy Gittins. Tommy Gittins beats two men. Looks for support. A little bit too late. Cullen dummy half. Going right this time. Andy Gregory puts in a kick. It's a grubber off a Widnes boot. Calvert got it covered. Referee MacDonald not very happy. Penalty to Widnes. Don't know what for. He does. He indicates a pushing movement. So David Lyons take the kick. Touch of magic there from Andy Gregory. Pitch in remarkably good condition, thanks to Ocker and the ground staff. Widnes with it. Into the Warrington half. Widnes again. Widnes playing right to left on your screens in the red. Sorry, left to right on your screens. What's wrong with me tonight? Got out of the wrong bed this morning. Widnes in the red playing left to right. Wearing their Spark-O-Matic emblazoned jerseys, but Widnes in possession. There's a good kick. No, it's not a good kick. It's dead. A very bad kick. Warrington get the tap from the 25-yard line. John MacDonald's third match of the season here at Wilderspool. Widnes, of course, the Cup Kings over the last 11 years. Won so many trophies. There's Alan Rathbone. He's hoping to win one this year. He's hurt. Back injury there. Rathbone. Gordon Pinkney on the pitch. The physio. Rathbone looks in agony. Referee stops the clock. Warrington will obviously miss Ken Kelly, the captain today, ruled out by the doctor. Calf injury sustained at Oldham on Sunday. Mike Gregory also out the pack, injured. Kevin Tamati, he's got his foot in plaster, ligament problems. And the clock still stopped. And the clock restarted. Warrington in possession. Andy Gregory. Oh, dreadful. Nothing of a pass. Giving Widnes possession. And Trevor Stockley has the ball. Trevor plays. Elwell to right wingman John Basnett. Hume, dummy half. Oh, and that's into Phil Blake's hands from The Widnes number 8, Mike O'Neill. And Phil Blake bundled into touch. And it's a scrum down. To be fed from the far side by David Hume. John McDonnell not happy with the scrum. Ball fed, Widnes in possession. Hume tries to go blind, but Gregory and Boyd have him bottled up. Sorry, it's Rathbone and Boyd. That's John Fieldhouse, former favourite at Wilderspool. Can't miss John with that flowing red hair. Gone are the days of the curly perm. That's Myler. To Phil Horton. Elwell. To John Fieldhouse. John Fieldhouse to Ralph Linton. Almost on the Warrington 25. Widnes in the attack. Myler to David Lamb. 2 milers, John at 13 and Tony at 6, but Widnes still with it. And that's Tony. Ball being thrown about by Widnes. O'Neill. Centre 3/4 making good ground here. It's a good move on here for Widnes. And they're within 5 yards of the Warrington line. 6 tackle with Macy the bomb. No, Warrington have the ball. Change over. Bob Jackson. Widnes didn't use the 6 tackle for a kick or any other move. Still in the 25 area. Warrington in position. Back to Hesford. Hesford with a long kick into no man's land. But Lyon has it covered. And Boyd tackles him brilliantly. Inside the Widnes half. Elwell, dummy half. Trying to go alone. Gets nowhere. Elwell, born in St Mary Street, Latchford. Not many people know that, as Michael Caine would say, but it's true. He told me himself. This is David Lyon. Warrington player injured on his own try line. Widnes in possession just inside their own half. It's John Myler. Ball lost there. Knock on ruled. Scrum down, says John McDonnell. Commentating today from the announcement box alongside the Radio General commentators. I'm out of view of our cameraman. He doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I don't know what he's filming. Hope we're in sync. But Widnes, they're in full flow now. That's Tony Myler. He plays. Trevor Stockley. Warrington fans desperately need a win after last Sunday's debacle at Oldham. John Myler. That's John Fieldhouse. Good pass from Fieldhouse. But Les Boyd in the tackle again. Looks as fit as a butcher's dog. Myler to brother Myler, or cousin. Oh, there's a knock on there from Stockley. And Blake in possession, getting some rough treatment for Widnes there. Cullen, dummy half. To Bob Eccles, captain for the night. Carl Webb, acting half. To Rathbone. Rathbone will crash in. Rawbone, Rathbone. Webb. Andy Gregory. Playing against his own club. This is Bob Jackson. Thackeray acting halfback. Eccles. And Gregory felled off the ball by David Hume. Disgusting. Just a warning, no booking. And it's a penalty to Warrington. Stephen Hesford. No, it's not Stephen Hesford. It's Brian Carbett entrusted with the kicking. That's amazing. Hesford, both knees very heavily strapped. And Les Boyd with it. On a 25, gives to Webb. Webb to Gittins. Gittins good pass to Cullen. Cullen to Barry Peters, but he can't make much ground. Pressure on Widnes at the moment. That's Cullen to Andy Gregory. Andy Gregory trying to slip it past, beats two men, wriggling through, but brought down by John Fieldhouse. Fair exchange. Bob Eccles bursting through. Cullen in support on the right. It wasn't, it was Phil Blake. This time it's Les Boyd. Oh, this boy looks good. This Boyd looks good. It's Tommy Gittins. Cullen throws it back. It's a loose ball. Warrington lose ground on that pass. Hesford retrieves. Hesford plays. Andy Gregory to Rathbone. It comes back. It's anyone's ball. Scrum down. And I think Andy Gregory had a friendly push it. His opposite number, David Hume. Warrington attacking in the Widnes half. Andy Gregory to feed. It's Warrington's ball out like a rocket. Andy Gregory gives to Hesford. It's a nothing pass, but a penalty given to Widnes for offside. Andy passed to Hesford. Hesford missed it, went forward and hit Gregory. Hence the referee gives offside, quite rightly. David Lyon to kick. Keith Elwell to tap. Work around move here. That's a rehearsed move. Brings in Mike O'Neill. Elwell again. Hume to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse slips it back. John Myler, number 13. Keith Elwell, quick to come up to take. Gives to Paul Horton, good tackle there. Bob Jackson, the tackler. Elwell to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse throws a lousy pass to Bob Jackson. Lousy of him, good for wire. Les Boyd. Oh, he's a rough man this, and he gets that ball away. Cullen's onto a bouncing ball. Cullen misses out Blake, gives to Thackeray. Thackeray on this left wing, turning inside. Beating men, very tricky Ricky. Good run from Thackeray, the crowd love that one. Andy Gregory going solo. Gets the ball to a Widnes player. Oh, some sloppy passing tonight. The money's on, so are the nerves. Widnes in possession. Mike O'Neill, number 8, plays. Elwell throws back to David Lyon. David Lyon kicks. Carbett's got this covered, no problem. Veers towards his wing. Almost on the halfway line, just inside the Warrington half. Barry Peters. Andy Gregory, dummy half. Slips it past to Rathbone, completely misses this. The wire team can't read the passes. This is Fieldhouse on a good run into the Warrington half. Trevor Stockley, dummy half. Gives to David Hume. David Hume to Lamb. Elwell. Hume. Myler. Myler. That looks good for Carvett. Oh, he can't manage to control that. Knocks on. Good anticipation though, Carvett. Hard luck there, Brian. Another scrum, Widnes to feed. From our side. Packs down. Referee McDonald not happy. Oh, definitely feeding. Penalty to wire. Feeding his own forwards, David Hume. It's differential. Carvett to take the kick. Carvett kicks to the semi-final, of course. Oh, it's not a good kick. It's a dreadful kick. And it's A drop for Widnes. I think it'll be a tap actually. Referee McDonald signalled a drop out. It is a drop out, not a tap. Bounced before it went dead. Other semi-final at Central Park, Wigan versus St Helens. That should be quite a battle. Hesford got this covered for wire. Running straight. Head down. Oh, and he's felled. Oh, he took a bang there. The head went down, and did he feel it? Touch of the Frank Brunos. Might run into a brick wall, that Stephen. That's Boyd, I think. Warrington with it. Eccles to Andy Gregory to Bob. No, that was Bob Eccles. Hard to distinguish in floodlight. Much more difficult to commentate under floodlight than in the sunshine like we had on Sunday. Andy Gregory with a pass which is ruled forward. Didn't look it from here. Spectators in front of me disagreeing with the referee, but it's always right. And it's Widnes to feed. And it's David Hume to feed the scrum. And it's Widnes ball. David Hume gives to David Lyon. Cullen in with a tackle. John Myler. No, it's Tony Myler, number 6. Ooh, driving tackle there by Wire. Here's a kick. Thackeray's got this covered. Will we see one of those jinking mazy runs from Rick? No, brought down on his 25-yard line. Cullen rushes in, acting halfback. Gives to Bob Jackson. That's Cullen again, dummy half. Webb acting half this time. Brings it left to Captain Bob Eccles. Eccles plays, Webb again. And completely missed by Alan Rathbone. And referee McDonald says, knock on. I thought that Fieldhouse got there first, but the referee's always right, even when he's wrong. David Hume. Referee not happy, re-scrum. And differential penalty to Warrington. There's a little dust up between Webb and his opposite number, Elwell. Elwell being spoken to, loose arm. Calvert to kick. And it's just made to measure. Ball boy quick, Thackeray quick, flips into Webb. Webb taps, and there's Les Boyd on the burst. Rolls it backwards to Webb. Webb gives to Thackeray. Thackeray dashes inside. Beats one man, slips another, but can't beat Paul Horton. Second row for Widnes. That's second row for Warrington. Tommy Gittins on the run. Cullen acting half. To Andy Gregory. Gregory worked round with Eccles. Jackson crashing in. Gregory. Eccles, Gregory again. Back to Rathbone. Carl Webb acting half. Tommy Gittins. Bob Eccles. The crowd dying for a score. This is the 6th tackle, and we see a little grubber push from Andy Gregory, and it's booted dead by the Widnes fullback. So it's a drop out from underneath the sticks. 90 minutes gone. No score on the board. No missed penalties, no nothing so far. And it's David Lyon to kick. He boots and it's straight into the safe hands of Stephen Hesford. Oh, and he gets a turnover tackle from Fieldhouse, but still Warrington with it. Bob Jackson one-handed to Paul Cullen, rolls the ball to Phil Blake. Can we see any magic from Philip? Yes, this is a brilliant try from Blake. What a try, sends Gregory in. An absolute touch of magic there from the boy they call the Australian wonder boy, and he proved it then. The man's so fast in his thinking. How he took that defence on and just spread eagled them on his own and sending Gregory under this alongside the sticks. A superb try and first blood to Warrington, and the Warrington fans absolutely delighted. They've seen him on video. He turned it on then. The Widnes defence didn't know which way he was going. He looks as if going on the sticks to me, but he decided to feed on and make sure and give Gregory the ball and Gregory the try scorer. But the applause, I think, this time for Philip Blake of Manly, Australia. And Steve Hesford trusted with the kick. And I'll bet me old threepenny bit that it's through the uprights. Tony Barrow giving instructions to Bob Eccles on the touchline. First team coach Tony Barrow, resplendent in his white trousers and wire blazer. No longer a tracksuit man. Leaves that to Derek Whitehead. This is Stephen Hesford. And that's through with no problem. And Warrington go into the lead against Widnes after 22 minutes, 6 points to 0. The Burton McBrory Lancashire Cup semi-final. Ralph Linton to kick. He kicks deep. That's covered by Hesford, no problem. Takes it beautifully like his goalkeeping brother Ian, back with Sheffield Wednesday. Second tackle on Hesford. That's not nice at all. And it's Paul Horton getting the warning from referee John McDonald, and it's Carvett to kick. And it's measured to a touch. Missed by Wilf George. And Warrington well into the Widnes half and 6 points into the lead. That'll do their confidence a lot of good. What a dazzling move that was. But now we've got another one on here. It's Gregory to Cullen to Peters. Cullen dummy half, just inside the Widnes area. This is Tom Gittins. Andy Gregory. Beats to number 12, John Fieldhouse. Webb, Gittins, Eccles. Eccles slips one man, pushes off another. Plays quick to Webb, Webb to Gregory. Gregory to Boyd. Boyd looks very sharp. Lovely pass, and it comes to Gregory. Looks another try here to me. Gregory's on here. No, he's brought down inches short. This is the last tackle. It's Paul Cullen acting halfback. Warrington with the pressure on Widnes this time. And Cullen tries to go alone. But it's the sixth tackle, and it's a changeover. It wasn't Cullen, it was Webby. But still, it's Widnes in possession, and that's fullback Dave Lyon. 4 yards in front of his own line, he plays it. I think Carl Webb should have passed that ball then. But I'm not down there, I'm up here where all the critics are. It's easy to play when you're in the stands. Elwell throws back to Lyon. Lyon kicks. Taken beautifully by Brian Carvett, like a basket. He tackled by Wilf George. Warrington still with it. Cullen. Eccles, a long pass. Gathered by Phil Blake. Tries going through the middle. Carl Webb acting half. Brings left to Andy Gregory. Andy Gregory, short pass to Les Boyd. Les Boyd to Cullen. Cullen going touchline, he's in touch. Very impressed with what we've seen so far of Les Boyd. Looks very sharp for a man that's been out of the game for 16 months. Said he wanted to play 2 or 3 games with the A-team, but due to injuries, drafted into the first team squad. Only been here a week and a half. But you don't play for Australia for nothing. You got to be a good one. There's Rathbone bringing down David Hume. Fieldhouse. Melwell. Horton. 3 Warrington men in that tackle. 3 Warrington forwards crashing Horton to the turf. Elwell. Myler puts in a little kick. Bounces well for Carbot. On the halfway line, Carbot. Webb. To Blake. Blake passes the ball on. To Hesford. Hesford plays and brings in Rathbone. Rathbone pass out to Eccles. Eccles bustling through. Gets a nice... No, it's not a good pass, but it bounces well for Cullen. Cullen puts in that little chip. It's taken very well indeed by David Lyon, but he's banged into touch, and that's a valuable kick for Wire. And someone hits Cullen, but he doesn't care. He'll hit back. Gordon Pinkney on the field to Hesford, I think, this time. Hesford's got a mighty headache with that bang he took on the head. And it's a differential penalty to the Chemics. Chemics versus Wire, long-time rivals. And in Lancashire Cup history, Chemics have a great advantage of wins over the Wire. Read your programme for details. Ball banged into touch by David Lyon. Elwell. Hume, Myler. To Tony Myler. To John Myler. And there's a little dust up there with Cullen. Widnes with it. Warrington still in the lead, 6 points to 0. Widnes with possession, but defending, would you believe? Referee Robin Whitfield tells me that the rules this season, if you've got the ball in your own half, you're defending, you're not attacking. Try telling Brian Bevan, Billy Boston or Tommy Van Vollenhoven that. And it's Wolf George with the ball on the attack for Widnes, but he's well pushed into touch just inside the Warrington half. Yes, that's the rules. If you've got the ball in your own half, you're defending. Doesn't make sense to me, but I don't make the rules. And it's another scrum. And the referee gives a penalty to Warrington for yapping. He's having a word with John Myler for talking, and this will be a penalty to Wire. Valuable ground will be lost just through yapping. These players have got to learn to control the tongues. Who said the commentator should? Leave the room. Miss Hesford entrusted with his kick. He's placing it. He's not going for goal, he's going for touch. About 28 minutes gone on my H. Samuel Never Right. Wire in the lead, 6 points to 0 here in this Lancashire Cup semi-final. Wilderspool Warrington. Ball being switched around. That's Rathbone. That's Les Boyd, dummy half, and going solo. Rathbone, dummy half. Brings it left to Bob Eccles. Bob Eccles right to Tommy Gittins. On the Widnes 25. Why need another try before half time? Will we see it? Let's hope so. It's Andy Gregory. Dummies twice. But 3 Widnes players to bring the little half back down to the turf. Carl Webb. Alan Rathbone. Last tackle, 6th tackle. Thrown back to Hesford. Hesford tries a drop goal. Looks good. No, it's not. Good attempt from Steve. And it's Widnes to tap from the 25-yard line. Still Warrington 6 points, 1 goal, 1 try to Widnes 0. Elwell bringing in O'Neill. Brother suffering with that dreadful broken leg. Sustained at Wigan. Oh, and he's fell off the ball. Alan Rathbone fell off the ball by O'Neill, and this should be marching orders for my money. Elwell, I'm told by Tony, my assistant. Elwell, the offender. I thought it was O'Neill. Let's see who the referee pulls out. You'll see it on the video. But that was a mighty smack that he takes a big man. The clock stopped. It's Elwell, the offender, and this should be a sending off. It doesn't look as though it's going to be a booking. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to be in Elwell's shoes at this very moment. Both players getting a warning. Who will the free kick go to? And Widnes, would you believe, get the penalty. Alan Rathbone penalised for punching. Well, well, well. The touch judge saw a different incident than us, but he's nearer than us, and he's got the flag. This is what gets the crowd upset. And so Elwell with the ball. Working a move here. This is a rehearsed move. Bringing in O'Neill. I thought it was O'Neill. I apologise to O'Neill. It was Elwell. John Milet. And that's dropped by Fieldhouse. Seen him do that before, once or twice. On the Warrington halfway line, Bob Eccles. Plunged into the Widnes half. Webb brings the left to Gregory. Gregory tries the dummy. Webb acting half. Rathbone crashing in again. Through Webb's legs, but it regathers. Webb plays. Eccles reverses direction. 6 tackle coming up. Will we see the bomb from Hesford? Gregory. He puts in a little kick, and it's right into Widnes' hands, and Widnes have possession. But Warrington regain possession, and it's Rathbone with it, coming left, turns inside, plunging through, brought down by David Lyon. It's Philip Blake to Andy Gregory. Andy Gregory dummies, gives the ball to Cullen. Cullen takes it well. For a very high tackle from David Lyon. Not vicious, but high. Tommy Gittins to Bob Eccles. Bob Eccles plunging through. He's looked like a try to me. No, referee says he's on his back. Doesn't look on his back to me. No way. So it's from the 25. Warrington looking very strong tonight. John Fieldhouse in possession for Widnes. Elwell to Tony Myler. Tony Myler trying to slip through that defence. Referee McDonald checking that watch. 5 or 6 minutes to go. John Myler. O'Neill. Myler to Fieldhouse. To Tony Myler. And John Basnett makes a mess of that one. And another scrum down. Referee stops the clock. While Bob Eccles puts his boot on. And it's still 6 points to 0 in Wyeth's favour. Eccles still lacing up that boot. Clock started again. The referee McDonald not satisfied with the scrum. Andy Gregory feeds. It's Warrington's ball. Out like a rocket again. Cullen has it. Cullen loses the ball. Widnes in possession. Too many balls have been lost so far. And that looked like a knock-on, and it was. David Lyon. Another scrum down. Andy Gregory's ball. We're seeing so many scrums. And it's Widnes' ball. Coming right. There's his Fieldhouse. Good pass there to Stockley. Stockley. Blake goes for him inside to Basnett. Basnett beats one man, but he won't beat Les Boyd. No, yes he does, but he loses that ball. Whose ball is it? It's Warrington's to me. Phil Blake. No, he loses it. It's John Basnett. What a mix-up. What a sloppy lot of passing and mix-up on the floor with that ball we've had so far. Semi-final nerves, I wonder. Tony Myler. And almost on the Warrington 25, John Myler. It's David Hume. Hume to O'Neill. Mike O'Neill plays. Horton Domage is going through. 10 yards from the wide line. Wire under pressure now, last 5 minutes of this first half. And it's John Fieldhouse with it. And it's a lousy pass, and Warrington in possession. No, back to Widnes. And this is unbelievable. This is like kids stuff. We saw better football from the youngsters earlier on. We really did. Les Boyd having words with the referee. I think he's just questioning the decision. But that ball was like a piece of butter. Andy Gregory to feed, but it's David Hume's ball for Widnes. Widnes giving to Lyon, the extra man. He's brought down well by Tommy Gittins. The pressure's on the wire line. 6 points to nil. Almost half time. John Fieldhouse, he'd love to score against his old club. Gets a good pass into O'Neill, and the defence is stretched, but it's regroups, and they're just literally a yard from the Warrington line. Widnes in possession. The ball's gone left. It's coming right this time. It's John Fieldhouse again. John Fieldhouse with a long loping pass to nobody. But John Basnett gathers second bounce and has a go at Rick Thackeray. But a crashing tackle comes in to stop Thackeray from Alan Rathbone. He plays to David Lyon. David Lyon to Myler. Myler to scrum half Hume. Hume turns and reverses play. He's no one to play to though. And Rathbone and Thackeray and Jackson in the tackle. David Lyon to Myler. Police are coming up to our box for some reason, but John Fieldhouse has it to Tony Myler. Tony Myler, he slips a pass and it's gathered. And Widnes still with pressure on. It's John Fieldhouse with a good pass this time to David Lyon. David Lyon has that ball. He's going into the Warrington 25-yard area. And it's sixth tackle coming up. There's a Warrington player line injured. Gordon Pinkney's on. There's just minutes to play before half-time, and Dave Fieldhouse puts in an awful kick, taken well by Hesford. Hesford brought down by Horton, the second row. And it's Warrington still with it. This is Alan Rathbone. Webb the dummy half. That's Tommy Gittins. Over to Tony while I have a word with the police.
This time it's Jackson. Jackson moves forward. He's tackled just into halfway inside the Warrington half. This time it's Carl Webb to Eccles. Eccles with the kick. And that's going to be Dave Lyon. Dave Lyon moving forward. Going across field, and Eccles tackles. And Boyd comes back in and tackles. John Myler to Tony Myler. Tony Myler going left. And he's fairly tackled and bungled into touch. Ooh. A bit of a fracas down there by the tunnel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a police announcement. There are 100 vehicles parked in Hilbury Crescent. They will all be bumped if not moved within the next 5 minutes.
And a substitution for Warrington.
Anyone with a vehicle parked in Hilbury Crescent.
And injured Paul Cullen is coming off. So Paul Cullen coming off. And on comes Mark Foster. As we have a scrum half just on the halfway line. So Cullen coming off looking injured and Mark Foster on. So with a few minutes remaining of the first half, it's a scrum down just on the halfway line. It will be Andy Gregory to feed. As Cullen comes limping. And the ball straight through the scrum. And Gregory will be to feed again. Still the score 6-0 in Warrington's favour. As Gregory feeds once more. And once again the scrum will have to be reformed. Gregory once more will feed for the third time. Still McDonald not satisfied with that scrum. And it's Gregory, this time to Blake. Blake a kick through. And Foster's chasing it with Wilf George. And Wilf George gets it. But he's bungled down on the 25-yard line. That's Horton with it to O'Neill. And O'Neill is brought down by Rathbone. Elwell to John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse to Myler. And Myler going through, breaking tackles, and he gets it out to David Lamb, and David Lamb moves into the Warrington half as the half-time hooter goes. The score, Warrington 6, Widnes 0 at half-time.
A police announcement, ladies and gentlemen, with the owners of any cars parked in Hilbury Crescent, please move them immediately. There will be many complaints. These cars must be moved in the next 5 minutes. All cars in Hilbury Crescent off Chester Road. Thank you very much. This is a police announcement.
And I notice that Warrington are still without Paul Cullen. Mark Foster on the field. Mark Foster's on the field, and it looks to me that Brian Carbett's off. Oh, Brian Carbett's in the centre of the field. So Mark Foster's on for wire. And it's Carbett to start the second half of this Lancashire Cup semi-final. Burtonwood Brewery. And it's a long kick from Carbett, and it's taken very well indeed. Looks like John Basnett from here, very powerful. And Widnes in their own half. Paul Hesford's missing, we notice. Hesford's missing, and Cullen's back on the field, and Carbett's gone to fullback. I think he likes playing there. He takes this ball very well indeed. He's got Mark Foster with him. So we've got Mark Foster on and Cullen back on. Cullen was substituted just before half-time. And Warrington in possession. And that's Bob Jackson, Webby to Andy Gregg. Carl Webb. Slip pass there from Webb to Boyd, but not a good one, and Elwell has possession. Six points to Wire, no points to Widnes, and over at Central Park in the other semi-final, Wigan are leading half-time. Wigan 10, St Helens 0. So the final could well be at Bolton Wanderers Football Club. And that's John Fieldhouse with a lovely break, striding through majestically. He throws the ball inside, but Andy Gregory manages to get that one beautifully. He read that perfectly. And he's the man that was in the exchange transfer with John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse moving to Widnes and Gregory coming to Warrington. That's Rick Thackeray. He's back in the game after 2 seasons of absence and really enjoying it. Widnes player lying injured. Warrington, of course, in the light strip if you just walked in. Widnes have borrowed their strip from Kenny Dalglish. Bob Eccles with a long kick. bounces awkwardly, but Lyons has it covered. No, he leaves it to Wilf George. Wilf George, black boy on the left wing for Widnes. He makes good ground for Widnes, and the Widnes player who was injured was John Fieldhouse. He's up and about again. Takes a lot to knock John down. That's Horton for Widnes in the second row. Hesford injured yet again, having a terrible time these last couple of seasons, Stephen, during his testimonial year. It's David Hume, acting half-back for Widnes. Moves it right. Kick there from Myler, and it's a beauty. John Myler finding touch well into the Warrington half. Kicks can mean a lot in this game. Now only 6 points in it. That's not a lot, but it means that Widnes have to score twice. Andy Gregory, the put-in. And it's Widnes ball, shovelled out beautifully by Elwell. That's John Field. No, yes, John Fieldhouse. It wasn't, it was Basnett. Basnett on the far side. Basnett bringing inside. That was Fieldhouse. That's a bad pass. Hacked on, hacked back, ball loose. And Warrington in possession. No, they've not. They lost it again. Whose ball is it? What will MacDonald say? My money's on a scrum. Referee waiting. Slate clean, Widnes ball. And that's David Lamb, number 10. Widnes running around move here. Mick O'Neill. Widnes with it, Hume. Hume to John Marler, John Marler to John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse, this is a good move, that's Stockley. And he throws the ball inside, is it try? And it's disallowed by John MacDonald. Double move in putting that ball over the line, and John MacDonald was right on the spot. Mark Foster playing right wing. Gordon Pinkney on the field, another Warrington player needing treatment. Penalty to wide, beautifully taken by Carbett. It's Boyd that's injured. Boyd limping. He says, I'm all right. He doesn't want treatment. He's a hard man. Been coaching up country in Australia. Now living in Appleton. What a change. And Warrington with it. That's Gittins. So this is Thackeray being brought into play. He's very elusive, is Ricky Thackeray. He gets that ball out. Boyd, a lovely pass, but not taken by Phil Blake. And it's Trevor Stockley in possession. John Fieldhouse. Oh, and a lovely tackle by Bob Jackson. Elwell. O'Neill. O'Neill slipped past to Elwell. Elwell to Basnett. David Hume. This is Myler. This is John Fieldhouse. Non-stop, 80-minute player, John Fieldhouse. That's Myler, John Myler. Gigantic up and under. Foster's under it, takes it well. 10 yards from the wire line. Barry Peters. Foster. Andy Gregory acting half. Brings in Rathbone. Rathbone foraging ahead, driving in. Webb brings it right to Bob Eccles. Webb again, Gittins on his left. But he throws back to Carbot. Carbot kicks, and he's tackled after he kicks, but it finds touch beautifully. It was, I disagree entirely with the touch judge there. That was a beautiful find. And the play carries on, but the referee's blown the whistle and there's still action. Well, well, well. We had a good side of that ball, and it was inside the line for my money. That was a magnificent kick by Carbot. But you can't blame the referee, you can only blame the man with the flag for that decision, and he couldn't keep up with it. Wilf George made a terrible mistake letting it go, and I thought that was a good touch, but doesn't matter what a commentator says, what a spectator says, it's what the three men in the middle say, the touch judges and the referee. And it's Hume to feed, and differential penalty to Warrington. And Carbot to take it. Carbot bangs that in. Good kicker, this boy. Carl Webb to Les Boyd. Les Boyd with a beautiful pass, but Rathbone fumbles and he regathers. Regathers, dreadful mistake by the Widnes defence then. And it's Warrington's ball on the Widnes 25. Here's Andy Gregory, puts in a chip kick right into the hands of John Fieldhouse. Two terrible kicks from Andy today. We saw Jem on Sunday, but two terrible chip kicks today. And it's Widnes with it. And a dreadful pass out, but Fieldhouse gathers well. There's been some awful passing from both sides. Fumbles galore. But it's a semi-final of a cup. And a place in the final to the winners tonight. That's John Myler. Elwell, Fieldhouse. Lovely pass there to Tony Myler. Looked a high tackle there, but no harm done. Elwell, John Myler. O'Neill, long pass taken on the first bounce by Basnett, puts the kick in. Oh, and it's beautifully taken by Carbon. He rounds the man, he's down that wing, coming inside beautifully. Going outside, he takes this man. This looks like a great run to me. Carbot coming inside now. He beats Hume, he beats another man. He's going through and he's finally just tripped and he's brought down. What a tremendous run from Brian Carbot from pullback. How long is it since we saw fullback run that far on this field? And it's Les Boyd crashing through now, powering through two men, but he's brought down. He plays the ball very quickly. It's Rick Thackeray inside. Rick Thackeray slips the ball to Andy Gregory. Andy Gregory's got it. Bouncing through. The crowd are coming to life. The game's coming to life. I'm coming to life. Thank goodness for that. He plays it to Alan Rathbone. Alan Rathbone, he's going solo, crashing through towards that line. He's 7 yards from that Widnes line, beneath the sticks. Andy Gregory, dummy half. Come on, lots to play for while there's a place in the final. The ball comes to Cullen. Cullen moves it to Eccles. Eccles, he gets a nice pass into Barry Peters, but Barry Peters brought down. Eccles goes dummy half, and this is the sixth tackle coming up. What will Warrington do? It's Gregory. It's a little grubber. And it's another bad one right into Widnes' hands. And the Widnes player is injured. The referee stops the clock. And Gordon Pinkney's on also, the Widnes physio. Gordon Pinkney's going to have a look at Alan Rathbone. He says he's all right, says Alan. Had a cold pork chop on that leg last week because they had no ice in the fridge. Quite true. I said, did you eat the chop after, Alan? He said, no, put it back in freezer. Quite a character. Two days later, he ate the chop and was putting a bag of frozen peas on his leg. Anyway, it's got him fit, thanks to Bird's Eye. And it's John Fieldhouse. And the ball's lost, and it's fumbled on the Widnes line, and that was definitely a knock-on, but a penalty given to Widnes. Fist signified by John MacDonald. Talking to Rathbone. Rathbone, the offender, in the eyes of John MacDonald. Yes, punch thrown by Rathbone, says John MacDonald. And not a good kick, but it's safe for Widnes. 20 yards out from their own line. Wilf George flips inside to Elwell, who takes the tap. And the Warrington forward tackling like tigers today. These Fieldhouse had a stormer. Still Warrington in the lead, 6 points to 0. About 12 minutes gone in the second half. That's Elwood with a beautiful pass to Wolf George, who makes a complete hash of it. I think he scored 6 tries in his A-team debut for Widnes. I don't think he'll score 6 tonight. And it's another scrum to be fed from the leisure centre side of the ground, and it's Andy Gregory to feed. Warrington need this ball. It's a differential penalty, lowering in the pack. Carbot brought in to kick this one. Phil Blake being brought up. Phil Blake. He's having words with Andy Gregory. But Bob Jackson, he's injured. Not very often injured. Tony Barrow on with the sponge, because Gordon Pinkney's already attending to Alan Rathbone. So Tony Barrow wiping the bearded face of Warrington's number 10, Bob Jackson. Don't get your nice shoes wet, Tony. And Carbot slots that ball into touch with pinpoint accuracy, and the Wire fans start to chant and charge. And this is Les Boyd. This is like the try scored in the tests. He's a powerful man, this. Bob Eccles. He loses the ball. He regains, and the referee rules knock on. Well, the ball has proved very hard to handle for both sides this evening. We had a very heavy shower just before and during half-time, but it looks as though it's stopped now. But by no means has the intense pressure of the play stopped, but Widnes have the ball. David Yoon tries to come blind, but Alan Rathbone's seen it all before and takes him well. O'Neill. Good forward. Mike O'Neill. But not the normally dominant Widnes we've seen in the past 11 seasons or so. And Warrington's tackling, well, it's tremendous. If they could just hold that ball and get it out to these match-winning backs, that's what we need. John Fieldhouse. A very sloppy pass indeed, and it took a man like Tony Marley to take it, and he's tackled over his own line. What a dreadful pass from Fieldhouse. That took the ball out of his own possession, and he gives it to the Wire because it's got to be a dropout from underneath the sticks. An awful pass. Just after I've praised John Fieldhouse, it was a dreadful pass, and it's a kick, and it's taken easily by Andy Gregory. And Andy Gregory going on that shoveling run, beats one man, no problem. And the pressure's on Widnes again. Carl Webb looking for support, bringing it right. No, going down in the tackle. Didn't gain much that time, Carl. Hadn't got a lot of support. Let's have some support. Gregory, he's going through on his own. He's dying to score against his old club, he really is. Scored one, wants another. Tommy Giddins. And he's pushed back. Wire fans shouting, move it, and I agree with them. That Blake is there. I want Blakey with that ball. Let's see Blakey with that ball. Blakey's got the ball. He shimmies, he dummies, he's going through. Slips a man, gets a lovely pass out. Another pass, and a lovely pass to wingman Mark Fossey. He'll take this. No, Wolf George has got him covered. And that's the football we want to see. The ball moving about the field. And so the scrum again, right inside the Widnes 10-yard line. It's David Hume to feed. Wire need this ball. Widnes wanted. Wire in front, 6 points to 0. And it's shoveled out by Keith Helwell, no problem. And once again, Hume comes blindside, and Rathbone's waiting to give him a friendly hug. And that's Tony Myler, got his head strapped Tonto fashion. And he's pushed back 3 yards Elwell almost on his own line, but he's a tricky little man, Elwell. Been in the game for 104 years. Must seem like that to Keith. There's a kick from John Myler. Thackeray's got this covered. Thackeray on that mazy, hazy, crazy run. Slips one man. Gets a nice pass out to Carbett. Carbett turns inside to Peters. Peters with the ball. Peters looking for space. Inside the Widnes 25. It's Les Boyd, dummy half. Les Boyd gives to Andy Gregory. Andy Gregory on to Alan Rathbone. Alan Rathbone tries to straighten, but the cover's too strong. Fieldhouse in the tackle, along with Horton. Webb left to Tommy Gittins. Tommy Gittins not let the side down today. Brought in at the last minute. Had a good game in that scrum. Carl Webb to the on-running Bob Eccles. Bob Eccles trying to see that gap, but a lovely tackle on Bob Eccles by John Fieldhouse. He's played with him before, knows his style. This is Andy Gregory with a little drop goal, and it's right between the post, and Warrington go one more point into the lead, 7 points to 0. What a cheeky little drop from the cheeky chappie himself, Andrew Gregory. Man of the match will be chosen tonight by the gentleman of the press sitting alongside the hospital box here at the main north stand at Wilderspool Stadium, Warrington, Cheshire. Only one team from Lancashire in the Lancashire Cup this season, as ever in the last few seasons, Blackpool Borough. But we don't believe we're in Cheshire. They moved the boundaries, but they didn't change the soil. That's Paul Cullen. He fumbles completely, and that was a disastrous error from Paul Cullen. Hand you over now for a few minutes to Tony Gleave. Tony.
So scrum down inside the Warrington 25. David Hume to feed. And it's out to Widnes. Hume to Myler. Myler's going through. Tackled by Gregory and Cullen. Widnes putting on the pressure now. Elwell. It's Mike O'Neill now. Mike O'Neill going through. He's tackled well. Still inside the Warrington 25. That's Basnick going through. But he's brought down inches now from the Warrington line. Hume. It's out to Fieldhouse now. Fieldhouse to Myler. Myler going through, but again brought down by... Get away, but it's Rathbone who brings him down now. This time it's Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse to Myler. Myler back to David Lamb, and David Lamb is smothered there by 3 Warrington tacklers. That is the 6th tackle now for Widnes. It's back to Myler. Myler with the bomb. They're all on this way. It's Mark Foster. And Widnes get the ball, and it's a saving tackle, and it's 6 more tackles to Widnes now. This time it's Elwell. Elwell got himself on the blind side, but brought down there by Barry Peters and Andy Gregory. Hume now to going to Fieldhouse. To Myler. Myler. Referee, it's the way he's played out. There's a bad pass back. And it's Dave Lyon, and he's caught well there by Ryan Carbett. Trevor Stockley now. Trevor Stockley going himself. He's going through. Stockley with the grubber. The Warrington defence going back, and it's out to Hume. Hume going through. A great tackle there by Barry Peters. Inches now from the Warrington line. It's Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse. Back to Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill, it's out now. Mile. But good tackle. It's out to Dave Lyon now. Dave Lyon. Going himself. And he's met there by Barry Peters and Bob Eccles. Last tackle now for Widnes. Will we see the bomb? It's Elwell. Inside to Ralph Linton. It's out to Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill with the bomb. And Thackeray's missed it. He's let it bounce. And it's Blake now. Blake. But he's brought down there just on the 25. This time it's Thackeray. Thackeray going himself. Over the 25 and Thackeray's going through. Well brought down there by John Fieldhouse. Carl Webb. Carl Webb to Rathbone. Rathbone. Brought down well by Elwell. Once again, Carl Webb. To Gittins. Gittins to Gregory. Gregory going through. But just caught. It's back out to Bob Jackson. And Bob Jackson's going through. Good tackle by Dave Lyon. It's out now. And Les Boyd is going through. Oh, it's a forward pass. Unbelievable. It was literally a debut try for Les Boyd. But the referee brings them back for a forward pass. The crowd don't agree. I don't agree. But the crowd giving rapturous applause here to the Warrington side. Scrum down inside the Widnes half. Keep him to feed. And it's once again out to Widnes. Hugh. Out to Myler. Myler tackled well by Cullen. This time it's Trevor Stockley. Trevor Stockley going himself. But brought down well by Gittins. And a good tackle there. And that is Wilf George. Sloppy play by Widnes. But Wilf George breaks the tackle. And Wilf George is going through. Oh, great tackle by Boyd. This time it's Foster. Carvert now. Another sloppy pass. Carvert goes himself. Over the halfway line. And brought down by Mike O'Neill. Eccles. To Alan Rathbone. Rathbone going through. Beats one man. Beats another. Just couldn't get his pass out there to Peters. This time it's Carl Webb. Gittins. Gittins makes a couple of yards. Once again Webb to Jackson. Jackson charges through. Brought down well by Horton. Once again it's Webb. To Andy Gregory. To Eccles. Back to Gregory. Gregory goes himself. Beats one and he's through. Oh, Eccles just couldn't catch it. And it's David Lamb who recovers for Widnes. Widnes now clearing the lines with John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse going over the 25 and Fieldhouse is going through. And Fieldhouse a great pass. Oh, and just John Basnick couldn't get that. And this time it's Phil Blake. Phil Blake on himself. Phil Blake with the kick. There's a chase now. Phil Blake. Oh, he's through. Phil Blake's going to score. Yes! Great try for Phil Blake in the corner. The kick ahead. It was fumbled by Lyon. And it was Phil Blake who went over. And surely that could be the Lancashire Cup final for Warrington. A great try by Phil Blake. That famous kick ahead we've seen on the videos. And there it was. In true life here at Witherspoon. And rings another try for Phil Blake. It's 11 points to 0. And the Warrington fans jubilant with that Phil Blake try. It's electric stuff here. Back to Peter.
Well, we've seen it on the videos, and that was the kick. And fortunately for Phil Blake, the Widnes coach completely fumbled it, but he was smart enough and fast enough to get onto it and bang that ball over in the corner and send the Warrington fans absolutely delirious. Happy with excitement. They're stamping, they're chanting, they're clapping, they're giving the lad the applause. This is what they brought him over from Australia for. This is what Bobby Fulton said he could do. He showed it then. And he made the first try and he scored the second, and it's Brian Carvert to try and bang this one over from the touchline as Gordon Pinkney attends to Carl Webb's left thigh. So 11 points to 0. Will this be two more? It looks a good one right from the touchline, but no. But that's 11 points to 0, and that's a good score in a cup tie. About 23 minutes gone in the second half, and Warrington in the lead, 11 points, and how rare to see a Widnes score board with no points to the Chemics. And Warrington without Tamati, without Kelly, without Hesford, without John Bevan. But Cullen has it. Hard little man, Chachi Cullen. Taken off injured in the first half, came back at half time, looks fine. Bob Jackson. Bob Jackson. Webb to Tommy Gittins. He's had a nice game, Tommy Gittins, tonight. Carl Webb to Les Boyd. He'd have loved to have scored that try. He was brought back, he was well through, but the referee brought him back for a forward pass. And it's Webb acting half. Andy Gregory to Bob Eccles. Bob Eccles still not down. Andy Gregory going in at dummy half back. He's got Blake on his left. He's got Rathbone on his right. He puts in a little kick and he's brought down. An absolute obstruction. He's hurt too, but MacDonald won't have any of it. And Widnes have possession. And that's O'Neill. And Widnes still with it. Tony Myler slips the ball inside, looked a forward pass, but nice pass that time from Fieldhouse. Good pass to the wingman, John Basnett with it. Can be very dangerous, John Basnett. But well tackled there. John Fieldhouse, Tony Myler. Good pass from Trevor Stockley to Ralph Linton to Wilf George. Wilf George. It's missed by Boyd. He loses the ball. It looks like Carbett. What a lovely take from Carbett. Pressed into service. 3 matches on the run, I think, at fullback, and played so well. Andy Gregory. Alan Rathbone. Bob Jackson. He's through the gap. It's through. No one with him. He's looking for support. Gets Andy Gregory. Bad pass. And it's offside, this. Came off a Widnes man, I'm sure. Referee MacDonald disagrees. Some sloppy passing. But still, it's exciting. And a quick kick taken by Myler and slipped inside to Stockley, and Stockley looks over. It's a try. Now, I didn't understand that free kick because it looks as though he just tapped it to himself. It didn't touch the deck. He just tapped it up to himself. The ball was not played to the ground. I don't understand that one at all. And that's numbed the Warrington fans. Would happen just after I'd said that it's rare I've seen a Widnes scoreboard standing at 0. So the score stands 11 points to 4 with a reasonably simple kick. Regular kicker Mick Burke at the ground, but not playing tonight. Looks like John Myler. To take the kick. And the referee stops the clock because the ball has fallen over. Notice sitting on the front row of the stands, a little fellow there named Jim Mills. Clock restarted. Attempt to goal this try. This would bring Widnes right back into the game. And it's well wide. Yes, it was. I was right. It was John Myler, the kicker. So 11 points to 4 in Warrington's favour. 12 or 13 minutes to go on the clock. That drop goal of Gregory's could make all the difference. Gregory holds the ball as Carbett mishits it. Rolls along the floor, trapped by Lion soccer style. And a good tackle there from Bob Eccles. Tony Myler slips the ball to John Fieldhouse, does a juggling bit, gets the ball out well though. Inside to Fieldhouse again from Lamb. Fieldhouse again inside to Horton. And it brings play right inside the Warrington half. Good movement from the Widnes forwards. Tony Myler. He's brought down right in front of our camera position. He plays it. Trevor Stockley, the try scorer. John Myler, Horton, Lamb. Widnes still with it. Had a lot of ball tonight. David Hume inside to Tony Myler. Tony Myler tackled by Bob Eccles. Rolls the ball back. Another bad pass, but fielded. And I felt then that Cullen was obstructed going for that tackle. John Fieldhouse. Here's a bomb from John Myler. Andy Gregory's underneath it, but he takes it. The little man takes it. And he's unceremoniously dumped to the turf by Trevor Stockley. He says, "Don't do that again, Trevor. I'll see you after playtime." And it's Carl Webb. Looks injured to me, Carl. And that's Alan Rathbone. Y fans shouting for more football. Ball thrown back to Carbett. Carbett puts a long kick into the open spaces. And it's rolling towards the Widnes post. David Lyon to cover. He gets it. There'll be a reception committee for him. Blake's going for him. Blake misses him completely. Thackeray gets him. It wasn't, it was Paul Cullen that got him. That's John Fieldhouse. Paul Cullen gets him too. On the far side, hard to distinguish the numbers, but that's Fieldhouse. He's well tackled again, but the ball is lost and it's a scrum down. That was 3 tackles on the trot by Paul Cullen, and a substitution is made. Boyd is coming off for Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts, number 15. The referee's not seen Tony Barrow, and it's Derek White actually in his number 11. He wants Boyd off. And Mark Roberts on. It's Warrington with the ball. That's Alan Rathbone. It takes a lot of effort out of the Widnes pack, out of any pack, Alan Rathbone, with those crashing runs. And that's Tommy Gittins. Had a super game, I think. Mark Roberts limbering up, dying to get on that field. But Warrington with the pressure on Widnes, the ball's thrown back, taken well by Webb. Webb looks good this time. Going left. Plays the ball. Bob Jackson acting halfback. Bit of a bunch around there, but Bob Jackson's going solo this time. And he's into the Widnes 10-yard line, and the referee says 5 tackles gone, 6-1 coming up. It's Rathbone. Rathbone pushes that ball to Phil Blake. Phil Blake with a little grubber, and it's too far, and it's kicked dead by David Lyon. John McDonald can't see his touch. Judge waving the flag, can't see White. Derek Whitehead throws the number 11 down in disgust because they just can't get the referee's attention. The touch judge can't, and this time it's Carr, but with it he's getting some rough handling from Widnes. And Derek White has given up, trying to get Mark Roberts on. Little fumble, but he holds it, does Alan Rathbone. Tackler John Fieldhouse. Oh, he's grafted his guts out tonight, John Fieldhouse. So is Webby. Webby with it. And Mark Roberts still waiting to come on. The Widnes physio going on. The Widnes player lying prone, but Warrington in possession. 11 points to 4 in front in Warrington's favour. And it's a stretcher, this, a stretcher, I think. The lovely lady physio, Widnes, is coming on. As Blake puts a kick in, but it's knocked down, and David Lyon takes it. And it's number 10 for Widnes, David Lamb. He's been helped to his feet by the Widnes physio. And this is Tony Myler, headbanded, gets the ball out. Stockley. And Widnes have their sub warming up too. Will they get him on? Andy Ruane. Wilf George. And at last,
substitution for Warrington. Mark Roberts replaces Les Boyd. Mark Roberts replaces Les Boyd. For Widnes, Andy Ruane replaces David Lamb.
and at last we've got the substitutions through. And the man of the match, chosen by the press. I reckon about 3 or 4 minutes to go. And Paul Cullen has it, and this looks like Warrington's tie. I shouldn't say it because things have happened in the last few minutes many times before. But 11 points to 4 in front. That's a lot in the last few minutes. So stick it up your jersey's wire. Keep this ball in play and you're through to that final. That's another storming run from Alan Rathbone, and he gets a boot on his leg. Bob Eccles, he loses the ball but regains of a Widnes player, and the referee says play on, but he doesn't wipe the slate clean, I noticed, and he should have done. Tell you about that after John McDonald, when you buy me a Big Mac hamburger. That's Gittins with a lovely pass. That's a beautiful pass to Mark Roberts, and that's a high tackle. And the referee says he signals a 6. It's only been 2 because it came off a Widnes player. I don't believe this. Andy Gregory with it. And it's a changeover, and that was wrong, completely wrong. When Eccles lost it, he said a Widnes player came back to him. The slate should have been clean, but still, he's right. The Wigan ref's right, even though he's wrong. And the man of the match will be chosen by the members of the press. It's anyone's guess. And it's Widnes with it, 11 points to 4 down. And John Basnett knocks forward, but it's Warrington's ball, taken well by Thackeray. Could Thackeray run through this team? The Wire fans would love to see him do it, but no, he's up against the super tackle there from Paul Horton. Andy Gregory bringing it right to Tommy Gittins, not put a pass wrong. Barry Peters brought down, almost into touch, but not quite. Mark Foster acting halfback, Cullen's on his left. Cullen, he loses the ball, but it's behind him, and the referee says knock on. I disagree entirely.
And the man of the match chosen by the gentleman of the press tonight goes to Warrington's number 13, Alan Rathbone. Man of the match, Alan Rathbone.
And there's a differential penalty to Widnes, and it's taken quickly. And 10 yards lost through talking. I think Andy Gregory was the offender. Widnes still not giving up hope, despite there being literally a couple of minutes left. We've had a couple of injury stoppages. So it's up to the Wire to hold this Widnes team out. That's Myler to Myler. Stockley to John Basnett. John Basnett brought down well by Rick Thackeray. Well into the Warrington half on the Warrington 25. Wolf George over on that wing for some reason or other. That's John Fieldhouse. Hume with a pass to his number 8 O'Neill. There's the sub, Ruane again. He's brought down well. This is the 6th tackle coming up. We'll see a bomb here. Everything can depend on this bomb. And it's pushed back to John Myler. John Myler bangs it up and under. Whose ball is it? It's Wire's ball, taken brilliantly again by Andy Gregory. Second super up and under is taken. But Warrington on the defence, despite being in possession. That's the new rules this season. If you're in your own half, you're defending. That's Mark Roberts, fresh and fit. And a knee went in there. Knee there from O'Neill. And Roberts knows it. Bob Eccles with it. Slips that ball inside to Carl Webb. Carl Webb to Gregory. Gregory can't beat Marlow. It gets the ball to Alan Rathbone, man of the match. Almost on the Wigan line. We'll hear tumultuous applause. When that whistle goes, as long as Warrington are in that lead. And it's Carbett with a gigantic kick. David Lyon under this, takes it well under the floodlight. Very hard to take these balls in the floodlight when they're coming out of that. That's a one-handed tackle by Barry Peter, and the touch judge is on. He doesn't like something. Mark Foster's arguing. David Lyon's arguing. Barry Peters is brought out for a lecture from referee MacDonald. Can only be a minute or so to go. And there's still talking from Myler as he bangs this ball into touch. The Widnes team obviously deflated because they're 8 points behind. Check that, 7 points behind. And there goes the hooter. And Warrington win, and the crowd invade this pitch. They're delighted after last Sunday's disappointment. Warrington, 2 goals, 2 tries, 11 points. Andy Gregory and Phil Blake being the try scorers. Carbett, Hesford the kickers. and Widnes a solitary try to Trevor Stockley, and so it's to the final, and I think it will be Wigan. If so, I think it will be at Burnden Park. Bolton. If it's Saints, I'm sure it will be at St Helens. My money's on Wigan.
Next match at Wilderspool, Warrington versus Salford, Sunday, kick-off, 3 o'clock. See you then. Wigan, latest score, Wigan 30, St Helens 2. Latest score, Wigan 30, St Helens 2.